Yuri Watanabe, the Wraith, wakes up and is greeted by the disorienting luminescence of the laboratory light fixtures. She almost forgot. She's in Parker Industries, and she's being held captive by the living brain. But now that she's awake, it won't take long for her to free herself. The living brain's directive is to keep the Wraith confined, and only non-lethal force is authorized to prevent escape, which shouldn't matter in the least, because the Wraith's fear gas will not affect this automaton. I know, the Wraith confirms. Now here's a warning for you. I'm not groggy and half-conscious this time, and I'm a lot more than fear gas. The hero then uses her tendrils to grab a hold of and slam the living brain onto the ground. The door behind him is sturdy, but the controls aren't. The Wraith's corrosive gas can short them out. That will hold the robot in the room for a while, which is good because she'll have her hands full with the monster that put her there. In another lab, Carlie Cooper, now going by the name Monster, begs for Sajani to give her the cure to the Goblin Formula. She needs to take it now, before she loses control. Sajani tells Monster that she's still running tests, and she's not going to inject Monster with something that could kill her, even if that means Sajani has to be stuck in the room with something that could kill her. Sajani just got done testing the serum on a lab rat, and after it broke out of its cage, it came at her. It might have even killed her if it hadn't exploded. Monster can't help but let out a snicker at the cruel fate of the innocent creature. That's when the Wraith arrives. "Thanks for the laugh," she says. "Now I know where to hit." At the moment, the Goblin protocols are still in effect. The Wraith, who uses the same lens technology as the superior Spider-Man, has been hacked by the Green Goblin, rendering her unable to see anyone with a goblin face, tattoo, or image on their person. But if the Wraith can keep Monster tangled in her tendrils, it won't matter if she's invisible. "You idiot!" Sajani screams. "What are you doing?" "I'll deal with you later, Victoria Frankenstein," the Wraith shoots back. Sajani pulls back on the hero's shoulder, explaining she's trying to cure Monster. Right now, she's still in control. Barely. But if the Wraith keeps this up, she'll push Monster over the edge. Monster's snicker turns into a small shriek of laughter. She then sinks her fangs into the hero's arm, breaking her concentration. "Oh, I'm over," she screeches. "And so are you." Monster grabs onto the Wraith's tendrils and flings her around the room, saying, "I was so confused, but I see so clearly now. Too bad you can't say the same." Monster snaps back on the tendril, pulling the Wraith back towards her before backhanding her back across the room. The Wraith is left helpless, taking one attack after another. Sajani calls out to her, "Wraith, look out! Are you blind?" "I can't see her," the Wraith responds. "How can you?" Sajani runs to grab the serum from her desk. "Okay, I know what's happening, and I know how to fix it. Wraith, grab her again. Hold her." The Wraith blindly feels forward, using her tendrils for assistance. "Easy for you to say." Monster cackles madly. "You wanna cuddle? I love a warm hug." know what would make it warmer? Your blood! Monster grabs onto Wraith and begins to strangle her around the throat. That's when Sajani makes her move. Sorry, Carlie, but we're out of options. Sajani fills a syringe with the serum before jabbing it into Monster's ribcage. For a moment, nothing happens. The attack seemingly only manages to agitate Monster even further. She claims that if Sajani likes needles, then she has a few she can shove into Sajani's face. But then, all of a sudden, Monster's rage begins to dwindle. Her face begins to transform, and the Wraith can see her once again. Wait, did you call her Carlie? The Wraith gasps. Carlie Cooper. As Carlie reverts to her normal self, she starts to become lightheaded. The Wraith grabs her. Carlie, I've been looking everywhere for you, ever since Parker took you. Just before she loses consciousness, Carlie responds that it wasn't Peter, it was the Goblin. And Sajani corroborates her story, explaining that the glitch with the Wraith's eyepieces, just like Spider-Man's, made it so she can't see anything that looks like a goblin. Moreover, the serum Sajani injected Carlie with is experimental. She's still not totally sure it can fully cure her. For now, all they can do is wait. The Wraith scowls and rips out her eyepieces before crushing them in her fists. This whole time, she's been chasing the wrong target. Carlie needed her, and she's not a doctor, so there's nothing she can do there. But at least the Wraith can get out there and make the Goblin pay. Her eyes are open now. Sajani asks the Wraith what she was even chasing Peter Parker and Spider-Man for. The Wraith responds that if they live through this, maybe she'll tell Sajani one day. But right now, to be honest, it just doesn't seem to matter.